Okay, so we've made it to 11.4. This is the last section before your mid-chapter 11 test. We are going to be adding and subtracting rational expressions. Now I want you to think about when you add and subtract fractions, what you do is you add they have to have common denominators, and you add the numerators, but you keep the denominators. So that's what we're going to do here. For example 1, they do have common denominators, 3y and 3y. So we're going to add 4 and 7 up top, and we're going to leave the denominator 3y. And we get 11 over 3y. Alright, and then example 1b, they still have common denominators, so we're going to leave the denominator, and we're going to add 3x and x, or 1x, and we get 4x over x minus 2. So I want you to try this one. If you'll pause it and try to do it, and then catch up with me in just a second, I'll give you the right answer. So hopefully you got 5a over 3a minus 4. Okay, and when we subtract expressions with like denominators, we're going to do the same thing. But what I want you to do is put the numerator and the denominators in parentheses. There's a reason I'm asking you to do that. We're going to keep the denominator like we did before. And then we're going to do 7x plus 5 minus 4x plus 3. The reason I had you put it in parentheses is because you want to distribute that negative. If you don't do that, you'll get it wrong. So we get 7x plus 5 minus 4x minus 3 over 3x squared minus x minus 2. So this looks like a really big, complicated mess, and I'm thinking we probably want to simplify all that we can, and then we're probably going to have to factor, because if you look at the bottom, this 3x squared minus x minus 2, it looks like that's going to have to be factored too. But before we start trying to factor, we want to simplify everything we can. So 7x minus 4x is going to be 3x, and then plus 5 minus 3 is going to be plus 2. Now in the bottom we've got 3x squared minus x minus 2. I'm going to do a little scratch work over here to the side, and I'm going to factor that bottom. And I'm going to have to do the MAC method, so I'm going to multiply a and c, and that's going to become 6. I'm going to do x, and what multiplies to give me negative 6, but adds to give me negative 1, and I think that's probably going to be negative 3 and negative 2. Because I was doing the MAC method, at first I multiplied by 3, so now I'm going to have to undo that by dividing both sides by 3, or not both sides, but both factors by 3. And that becomes 1, so I've got x minus 1, and then this you can't reduce, so you have to bottoms up, and you get 3x minus 2. So I'm going to rewrite my denominator over here as my factors that I got over here. So I'm going to move this over here. I just factored it, and I just want to move it where it goes. So I get that was supposed to be plus 2 right there. So the 3x minus 2 in the top cancels with the 3x minus 2 in the bottom, and I'm left with 1 over x minus 1. Okay, I want you to try it. I'm going to do one more with you, and then I'm going to get you to do the other two by yourself. I think I'm going to do c with you, because it looks like you're going to have to factor that one. So they have the same denominator. You're going to keep it, and that's going to be q squared minus 4. And up top, you're going to do 7q minus 3 in parentheses minus 6q minus 5. So you're going to distribute the minus. So if I simplify that, I get 7q minus 3 minus 6q plus 5 over q squared minus 4. Simplify 7q minus 6q is going to be 1q Negative 3 plus 5 is going to be plus 2. And then in the bottom I've got q squared minus 4. This one is actually very easy to factor because it's a difference of two squares. So you're going to do q minus 2, q plus 2. And you'll see that q plus 2 is in the top and the bottom, so you can factor it. Cancel it, and you get 1 over q minus 2. Okay? Pause it and try to do A and B, and then I'll show you the right answer in just a second. Okay, so hopefully you got these two answers for A and B. Alright, example 3. I want to show you what to do when you don't have like denominators. You have different denominators. You can only add or subtract if you have the same denominator. So you're going to have to force them to be the same. What you want to do is find the product of the denominators. So we're going to just multiply 6x times 2x squared. And that's going to be 6 times 2 is 12, and x times x squared is x to the third. And that's going to be my new denominator. Okay, to make that be my new denominator, what you're going to have to do is multiply your old denominators by the opposite. So we're going to multiply 6x by 2x squared. Whatever you do to the top, you have to, the bottom, you have to do the top. We're going to multiply 2x squared times 6x. So that gives me 10x squared over 12x to the third plus 18x over 12x to the third. Now that they're the same, we're going to keep the denominator, and we're going to add the exponents up top. I got 18x plus 10x squared. Well, I can factor out of the top. 2 will go into both of those, and they both have an x, so I'm going to factor out a 2x, and I'm left with 9 plus 5x, and in the bottom I've got 12x to the third. Now I can cancel this 2, because it'll go into 12 6 times. And this x will cancel one of these and leave x squared. So really I have 5x plus 9 in the top over 6x squared in the bottom. Alright, so I want you to try this one, see if you can get it. Pause the video, and I will give you the answer in just a second. Alright, so this is the fully simplified form of that problem. Okay, last example. Now we're going to subtract with different denominators, and it's really the same concept. But what I want you to do is, I'm just going to rewrite it. And what you're going to do is multiply the fractions by the opposite denominator. So we're going to multiply the first one by d plus 2, top and bottom. And we're going to multiply the second one by d minus 1, top and bottom. So up top on the left we get 3d plus 6. On the bottom, I'm going to leave it to d plus 2 and d minus 1 because it'll be easier to cancel if we do it that way. So at the top on the right, we're going to get 2d minus 2. And then in the bottom still, we're going to get d plus 2 and d minus 1. Okay, put the whole tops in parentheses because you're subtracting, and you have to remember to add the opposite or distribute the negative. So that's my whole top, and in the bottom, since they're the same now, it's just going to stay d plus 2 and d minus 1. So now you're going to add the opposite, and I've got 3d plus negative 2d, so that's going to be 1d, and then 6 plus positive 2 is 8. And in the bottom, I have d plus 2, d minus 1. My answer. Okay, again, I want you to try this one on your own. Pause the video. I'll give you the answer in just a second. Okay, so I hope that you got this answer. If you need anything, you know where to contact me.